What's up, guys? Today we're going to be making Steve from Minecraft. It'll be a pretty quick one. So I'm going to click the blue create button, make a new document. I'm just going to name this one Steve. So given that Minecraft is a really blocky game, it's really easy for us to model. So first I looked up an image of Steve walking. So let's see about what he looks like. All right, so it looks like he has a rectangular body, rectangular legs, rectangular arms, and a square head. So that'll be pretty easy for us to make. Let's do it like this. I'm going to click on the front plane, type N, so I'm looking right at it, and make a new sketch. Now in this sketch, I'm going to use my center point rectangle to make Steve's body. So let's start about here, and we'll say that's about like Steve's body. We'll go with that. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and let's make these just nice round numbers. So I'm going to hit escape, use my dimension tool, click a line, and let's make this 17. And I'm going to hit this line and then click over here. And it's already 28, which is a nice even number, so we'll stick with that. Green check mark. And I'm going to extrude this rectangle. So I click extrude. I click on the sketch that I just made. And if I orbit to the side, you can see it's going to make a big rectangle. Steve's body, as we can see, is not that thick. So we're going to make it a little bit shorter by dragging this arrow. A little bit thinner. Like that. And I actually, just because I want to make this whole model nice and pretty, I want to split this rectangle on this middle plane right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, oh, sorry, not right there, symmetric. And that will split it right along the plane where I made my sketch. And let's make this a nice even 8 millimeters, just like that. Green check mark. And that's Steve's body right there. Next, let's make Steve's legs. So Steve's legs are two rectangles that just go off either side of his body there, right off the bottom. So I'm going to pick my right plane, click sketch, type N, so I'm looking right at my sketch. Oh, there we go. And I'm going to make a rectangle that goes like this. It's going to be his front leg walking. And for this one, I don't want a center point rectangle. I want an aligned rectangle. This means I can make it at any angle that I want. So let's click right about here, draw the line that we want Steve's leg to be at. We'll go with that for now. And then that'll make Steve's leg. And again, I'm going to hit escape and dimension this. You can also type D. It's a really fast shortcut so that I have nice round numbers. So let's go with 23. And this one, let's go with 6. There we go. Green check mark. And as we can see in these pictures, it looks like Steve's legs meet in the middle, so we don't even have to offset any of these extrusions. I'm going to rotate a little bit so I can see what I'm looking at. And I'm going to hit extrude. I can also type Shift E, and that'll do it. And then I'm going to click on the sketch that I just made. Obviously, that's way too big for Steve's leg. So I'm just going to drag this arrow in until it's about where I want. I think his legs are about the same width as his torso. Yeah, looks like it. So let's go with 8.5 because I believe we made the last one 17. Or we made his body 17 millimeters wide. Let's X out of that. And green check mark. There we go. Now we're just going to flip to the other side and make the other leg. So I'm going to click this side of the right plane. And I'm going to click sketch. And I'm going to type N, so I'm looking right at it. And just the exact same thing. Aligned rectangle. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I can see what I'm working with. And go like that. Now, if I remember correctly, and you don't have to use the dimension tool, you can just type it right in as long as the box is white like this. If I remember correctly, we went 23, enter, and 6, enter. There we go. There's Steve's other leg as a sketch. So let's make it a real part. We'll go extrude or shift E, whichever you want. Click on the sketch we just made. I'm going to rotate so I can see what I'm looking at, and it's going the wrong way. So if I just grab this arrow and drag it all the way to the other side, you will see that there we go. Now his leg is where it should be. Now let's make that 8.5 that we were talking about. 8.5 millimeters. And there we go. Now we have Steve's body and Steve's legs. Real easy. Next, let's make Steve's arms. Steve's arms don't go from the very center of his body. They come off of about where his shoulders are. So instead of clicking the right plane, I'm going to click the side of Steve's body. There we go. And let's make a sketch on that face. There's sketch. I'm going to type N, so I'm looking right at my sketch. And let's see. Looks like leg goes one way, arm goes the other way. So this arm is going to go back and to the right because the leg goes forward to the front. All right, same thing, aligned rectangle. And let's go about here, like that. I think Steve's arms are, no, they're about the same size as his legs. So we'll go 6 millimeters on that as well. We'll go, if I hover over here, it'll turn white, and then I can type in my dimension. We'll go a little bit shorter here, 22. Enter. And 6. Enter. And green check mark. And then let's extrude that. So I'm going to do Shift E or click extrude. And then I'm going to pick what I want to extrude. Now this is split because it goes across Steve's body here. That's totally fine. You can just click both. Or you can click Sketch 4 and it'll do the entire thing. Now this obviously shouldn't be so wide. Let's just make it the same width as the legs. So we'll go 8.5. That actually looks a little too wide for Steve's arm. Let's make it the same thickness as we made it thick on this dimension. So 6 millimeters. That looks better for Steve's arm. I like it. And we're going to go green check mark. And let's go to the other side of Steve's body. And the same thing. Click on this face here. Sketch. Type N. So I'm looking right at my sketch. And another aligned rectangle. We'll go like that. Click, drag, click again, drag, click one more time. And I want this one to be 22 so that his arms are the same length. I want this one to be 6 so that they are the same size. That looks about right. We'll go green check mark. And we'll extrude this one too. So just to show you that you don't have to click the actual sketches over here, you can just click Sketch 5, the one we just made, and it will extrude the entire sketch that we just made. You don't have to click both sections that are split by Steve's body. Again, we don't want this 25 millimeters. We want it to be 6 millimeters, just like the other arm. And there we go. There's Steve's legs, arms, and torso. Green check mark. Last thing to do is add Steve's head. So I'm going to click this middle plane, and I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did with the body, where I'm going to make a sketch and then extrude it symmetrically so that it's the exact same on both sides. So let's go sketch on that plane, type N, so I'm looking right at my sketch. Let's look at Steve. Looks like his head is pretty big for his body, if we look at these right here. So I'm going to do not an aligned rectangle, but a center point rectangle. And let's go about here. I can always move it. Go like this, and we want it to actually be aligned with the rest of his body so that it's not floating in the air and it's not in his torso. So in order to do that, we can click anywhere. You can see it's not aligned. That's totally fine. I'm going to go up here to my constraints and go, oh, sorry, we're already there. Coincident. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to click this line. I'm going to click this line. And there we go. Now they're on the exact same plane. And then, looks like Steve's head is actually a perfect square. It is not a rectangle at all. It is a 6-sided square. All right. So I want to make this side and this side equal so that it's a square. So I'm going to go to my constraints here, and I'm going to click equal. You can also type E if you want to. I'm going to click one side, and I'm going to click the other side. If it did it right, then these should be equal. Let's see if it shows constraints. Yeah. That is now equal with that side. So now we have a square right here. I'm going to hit escape and get rid of show constraints and type D, which is the same thing as clicking right here. So I can dimension it. And let's see, let's make that a nice even 18 millimeters. And green check mark. And let's extrude Steve's head. So if I click right here and extrude, now remember this is 18 by 18, and that means this dimension right here also needs to be 18. But it can't be off just the one side of his head. I hit enter. There we go. We have to make it the same, so we're going to go click symmetric. And that will center Steve's head on his body, just like that. Green check mark. And there we have Steve. Now you can add a lot more detail to Steve if you want to. Obviously, as you can see here, Steve has a bunch of different colors. So we can actually add those colors too. We're not going to do it all right here because you're going to do some of it yourself. But if I click a surface like this and then right click it, I can do add appearance to face right down here on the bottom. If I click that and let it think a little bit, it's going to come up with this color palette. And I can change this to be whatever I want. Now Steve's shirt is kind of teal, so let's go with that color for now. And then I can add that to any surface that I want and make Steve's body teal. Now there are things you can do so that you can make a line right here so that it cuts off between his leg and his body. That's pretty easy to do, but we're not going to do it right now. If you want to, and I'll let you do this, we'll stop the video pretty soon here. If you want to, you can add small little features, extrusions and everything for his eyes, his nose, his goatee, his hair. And then you can change all those colors so that Steve here looks exactly like Minecraft Steve, which is pretty cool. But yeah, that's it. There's Steve from Minecraft. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're able to change the color on some more of your models that'll make them look a little more lively, a little prettier. So, cool. Thanks for watching.